Coach John Limbaugh Show brought to you by Lori Darlings in Fayetteville and in Childersburg. For the best eating around, it is Lori Darlings. Coach John Limbaugh can attest to that. Good morning, Coach.
Absolutely. They do a great job for us and the whole community down there. We really appreciate it. Good morning to you, Jim.
Yeah, good morning to you, sir. And it wasn't a good night over in Shelby County as Vincent took the wolves to the woodshed.
Yeah, absolutely. I told our kids last night, I said, well, this is, one of those times where you hopefully can learn something. It was a good old-fashioned whipping's what it was. And it's tough to be on the losing end of a game like that. We were outmatched, and I take responsibility for that, and totally. We got great kids and great fan base, and they all came out and they reinforced, and it's amazing always to see the Fayetteville family gather up for a football game, because they're going to come out and they're going to be there, and I'm really so appreciative, and I apologize to all of them for our play last night. But, like I told our team last night, from something like a failure like that, we've got to learn from it. This is football, Jimmy. And, we have times where our lives carry us to a doctor's visit. And that doctor might tell us one of our loved ones has cancer. That's a bad day. Mm-hmm. That's a bad day. Let me tell you something about last night. Our kids were involved in a good effort. Our kids were involved in a football game, which is a great sport. And they were able to run around there and do some things, and it's a better day than some had yesterday.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Even though we had a tough loss, even though it was a bad night, it's football, and our kids are going to grow from it and learn from it. And sometimes from failure, you can learn things like perseverance. We got to learn how to persevere through the tough times. We've got to learn how to continue the struggle. And it's a tough year. It's a rebuilding year, and we knew it would be. Sometimes we didn't realize it'd be this tough, but it's going to be all right.
Talk a little bit about the game last night. I think 54-0 or something like that. And but it was a mismatch for sure. Mm. Talk about Vincent, and we got some viewers over in that area. They must be a pretty good football team.
Doggone good football team. Coach Weatherford's done a really good job with them. They're really a complete team. Offensively, defensively, each side of the ball, they have playmakers, and they do a great job. One of their kids I heard last night might be going to Alabama A&M. They got some other kids that's going to go somewhere too on that team. So, I'm looking for a really great matchup between them and B.B. Comer. It's going to be a really good matchup. I'm very interested to see about the conclusion of that ball game, who wins that thing. So, it's hard to say right now who's going to. So. But it's a good football team. They're going to win a lot of games this year.
How do you talk about perseverance, you talk about learning. What do you try to learn from something like that last night?
Well, a loss like that is a grievous thing to a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid. And, last night I think in some ways some of our team members handled it okay and some didn't. Those that really were hurting from is those that won't have another opportunity against Vincent, our seniors. They won't have another opportunity against Vincent. I appreciate their effort last night. Reed Wallace did a nice job catching some balls. Cadence Barrett played hard, and we'll see more Cadence. He was coming back from an injury. We'll see more Cadence in the coming weeks, and so forth. And Zeke Deloach got out there and was his usual. Zeke Deloach. He played a good game up to that point, and he was taken out of the game with an injury to his hand, but I heard it's not as bad as we had feared. Mm-hmm. So he's going to be okay. He's going to come back from that. But what you learn is that we need to be a team that's in the right space at the right time. We got to be where our coaches put us, and we've got to learn that things aren't handed to you easily. A football game is always a work in progress, and you got to be on time. You got to be deliberate in what you do, and you've got to give all your effort and all your energy. And when you got kids playing both sides of the ball and you're young anyway, it gets difficult. That energy runs out and evaporates pretty quick. And I think right out the gate, we kicked an onside kick, and we got on the ball too early. We were so excited, and we got on the ball too early. Didn't go quite 10 yards. And it was just one of those plays where, okay, now they've got the ball. And, Jimmy, they scored first play of the.
I mean, you knew going into the game you're going to have to try some different things, right?
We did. We had a lot of things in place, and some things we didn't even get to attempt, But when they scored from the first offensive play they had, they went in and scored. Quick running back got the edge. He was out the gate and gone. And I think that just kind of took the wind right out of our kids' sails. And it's hard to recover sometimes from something like that. But hey, our kids were there. They were in it. They were playing a ball game, and there's some days that they're going to have in life that's going to be worse than that, and they're going to have to learn how to get through it. And times like this teach us.
Yeah, Coach John Limbaugh, the head football coach and athletic director of the Fayetteville Wolves, lost last night on a Thursday night over in Vincent, and the season continues. It's a football game, but you got other games on the schedule coming up next week.
Right. Well, we got Isabella coming up next week, and then we got our homecoming against Horseshoe
Isabella
Bend.
rung up some points last night too.
Isabella's a good football program. They really are. They're you get a couple of guys off your schedule like Lafette, Lynette, and you're thinking, all right, and then you get Isabella. So it's they're a good football team. The coach has done a really good job with them, and our coach is going to sit down there. We're going to give our kids the day off today, and we believe the weather's going to be pretty bad later. We're not for sure about that, but we're going to give them the day off today and come back Monday and get after it. But our coaches will be there. We'll be watching film. We'll be getting ready today. And since they played last night, and we'll see what they are going to do, and we'll plan accordingly.
Yeah, I think Isabella put 60-something up on Central Macosa County last night, and they're a good football team for sure. This Fayetteville football team, we knew it was going to be a rebuilding year going in. Well, what are some pluses so far for this Wolf team?
Well, our ninth graders, and they're really coming on. We got a slew of them out there playing, and got a lot of them starting. That's good for the future, and you want experience on the field. So I don't know if it's great for the present, but it's going to build for a future. And some of them out there are doing a marvelous job, is no doubt. And we're going to have these guys with us in the program for a while. And I'm very pleased with their effort and what they're bringing to the table. So we got a young team, but we're going to grow into a better team, and much better. And the same thing happened over at Vincent. I was talking with Coach Weatherford last night, and he was saying, "We know you remember." And
they were horrible a few years ago.
Yeah, we beat them, of course, during that time that they wasn't doing that well. And we had more older, seasoned, experienced players in. That experience has a lot. We lost 12. Last year, 12 seniors last year. And that experience means a lot when you get in those tough games and you're playing those really teams that are really built and look good and are strong. So, our kids are coming on. We got a couple of 10th graders and that's doing a good job for us. And more that, Jimmy, that 8th grade group is going to be a good group too. I tell you what, there's some players in the 8th grade group. And when all these kids get together in just a couple more years, we're going to be okay. And
that strength program you got down there, the new weight room, that's going to pay dividends down the line.
And in many ways, it already is. And the things we can accomplish in there are things that show up on the field. And we just got to have a great rest of the year. We got to recoup from these losses we've experienced. We're going to get some wins. We're going to come in here and we're going to have a better conversation. We're going to get some wins, but it's just tough right now. And, I've been through tough times before, and, God will bring us on that other side. We'll be all right.
He'll bring you through a big cow attack. He'll bring you through another thing, right?
Bring you through anything. That's right. Absolutely.
Coach John Limbaugh, the head football coach and athletic director of the Fayetteville Wolves. We always do a spotlight of a player every week on the show. And who we got this morning?
Well, I'd like to say Cadence Barrett. I thought Cadence, he was out last week against Ranburn with an injury, couldn't play a lick. And he came back this week and trying to ease him back into the course of things. But I thought he played hard. He was one of our seniors that were frustrated, but I thought he played a hard game on his part and worked toward the getting something done toward that effort. So I just like to lift him up this morning and say that I think he had a good game, and then 10 more just like him.
All right, Coach John Limbaugh, the head football coach and athletic director of the Fayetteville Wolves, with us every week here on Coach's Corner segment, brought to you by Laurie Darlings in Fayetteville and in Childersburg. More Daybreak coming up right after this.